The House Intelligence Committee, Congressman Adam Schiff from California. Congressman, welcome to you, sir.
Thank you.
I'm not sure if you heard what Congressman Heck was saying there, but this seems to be kind of the theme from the Republicans saying, look, I mean, this is confusing, and admittedly it is. Somebody took a very key piece of wording out of the CIA's talking points, and it changed the entire theme dramatically. Your response?
Well, first of all, there was never any draft that said it was a pre-planned terrorist attack, so that wasn't part of the draft. Yes, there were changes in the multi-agency intelligence community process. The most important point, though, and General Petraeus made this very clearly today, is that the changes that were made to protect classified information. They didn't want to be specific as to the precise group they thought was responsible, or groups, because there may have been multiple groups involved, multiple groups of terrorists or extremists. But it was done to protect classified information, and he was very clear this was never done for political purpose. This wasn't manipulated by the White House, and all of the kind of conspiracy theories that this was done to frame this in a way the White House wanted were completely debunked by the general. The other point that I think was quite clear, and I asked the general about this during the hearing today with respect to the UN ambassador, whether she was operating on the precise talking points or not. I asked the general, were the talking points that we ultimately got, that you ultimately signed off on, were those an accurate assessment of the best information you had at the time that still protected classified information? And he said yes. And I asked him, to the degree that the ambassador's remarks reflected those talking points, and if you look and compare them, they're almost identical, was she giving us the best intelligence estimate at the time? And his answer was yes.
But I'm not sure that's accurate, Congressman, because tell me, if you would, go back and tell me how it is that protecting classified information turns out to be something where Ambassador Rice goes on to these 5 Sunday shows, and if she's protecting classified information, how do you turn that around where she delivers inaccurate information to the entire country? Because at that time, the information she gave was inaccurate, basing it on the best intelligence that she had.
Because the best intelligence the community gave us and gave the ambassador was wrong. And the general admitted it was wrong.
Because somebody changed it, sir.
No. The intelligence, the raw intelligence and the information they gave us, that the general gave us in person, that they gave us in the written assessment, said this was based on began as a spontaneous protest. That was wrong. That wasn't something that Susan Rice invented. That was something the intelligence community thought at the time, and they were wrong. But the idea that they thought something different and that the ambassador departed from that is simply not true, and the general today made it clear that was not true. So the general had to acknowledge, and none of us like to have to acknowledge this, but that he and the IC got it wrong. They thought initially it was spontaneous. They thought, yes, it's terrorism because by definition you're shooting mortars and RPGs at an American diplomatic post. That's terrorism. The question, though, is, was it pre-planned? Should we have seen it coming? And that is something that the general did not know at the time, and to suggest that they knew initially, the general, the IC knew, that's simply not the case.
Well, from these intelligence hearings, we can tell you that the Democrats and the Republicans came away with entirely different conclusions about exactly what happened. California Congressman Adam Schiff, sir, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.
We, by the way, will have a lot more on this coming up with Chris Wallace, who was the man who sat there while Ambassador Rice